Your car just stalled, nothing, no crank, no click, and you're thinking, great, time to call a tow truck. Don't. I've brought cars back to life by doing something as dumb as jiggling the gear shifter. And here's the wild part. According to lookupaplate.com, 1 in 3 American drivers experiences a vehicle breakdown. But most of them aren't caused by blown engines or major repairs, they're caused by stuff you can fix in minutes, with your own hands, in your own driveway. This video will walk you through the 10 easiest fixes for a car that won't crank, click, or start, no tools, no mechanic needed. I've seen people spend $800 chasing fuel issues when all they needed was a $0 fuse. So before you burn cash on a mechanic, try these 10 steps. They saved me, my customers, and probably a few marriages. Warning, stick around, because step number 1 alone has saved cars people thought were totaled. And if you like saving hundreds in shop fees, hit that subscribe, I've got more real-world fixes coming your way. Here's what you need to check in the exact order mechanics do it. Step number 1, make sure you're in park or neutral, and wiggle the shifter. You'd be shocked how many dead cars I've revived just by nudging the gear selector. Last week, a Corolla wouldn't start unless the shift lever was moved slightly out of park. Classic neutral safety switch issue. That sensor tells your car it's safe to crank, and if it's not aligned right, you won't get anything, not even a click. Try this. Shift firmly into park. Then try starting in neutral instead. While turning the key, wiggle the gear selector slightly. Make sure you're pressing the brake pedal. Watch your PRNDL display. If it's not lighting up, that's a clue. Had a guy with a stuck shifter last month, thought it was a blown engine. I popped the shift cover, hit the manual override switch with a pen, and boom, fired right up. You can find that override slot near most shifters, just pry off the trim and push down on the release. Bonus trick. After setting it in park or neutral, cycle the key to on, don't crank, and back off 3 times. On the 4th try, crank it. This primes the ignition circuit and can help re-establish contact in glitchy relays or ECUs. Simple, fast, and surprisingly effective. Still no crank? Let's make sure it's not something embarrassingly simple. Step number 2. Check the fuel gauge. Yes, seriously. If your car won't start, don't trust the fuel gauge, the needle might be lying due to a bad sensor or glitchy dashboard. You need at least 2 to 3 gallons for the fuel pump to draw from the tank, especially if it ran empty. If it's been sitting, the fuel might be stale, full of ethanol breakdown or contamination, which can clog your injectors or fuel filter. Add fresh gas, and if it smells off, siphon the old stuff. Fuel's fine? Then let's take some stress off the battery before we try again. Step number 3. Turn off accessories and try again. I had a guy with a Camry last week swore his starter was shot. Turns out, he'd left the headlights, fan, and radio on while trying to crank the engine over and over, draining his battery like crazy. That kind of electrical load during startup pulls way more power than most people realize, especially if your alternator is weak or your circuit has a parasitic drain. Best move? Flip off all accessories, AC, blower motor, everything, then wait 10 seconds before hitting the ignition. That gives the voltage time to stabilize and avoids frying a fuse or relay. A weak battery can still give you dash lights but not enough juice to turn the key into a real start. Okay, now stop cranking. Just listen. Your ears can tell you what the fuel system's doing. Step number 4. Listen for the fuel pump, key on, engine off. When you turn the key to on, engine off, listen closely for a soft buzz or whir from the back seat. That's your fuel pump doing a prime cycle, pressurizing the fuel system before you crank. If you don't hear it, check the fuse, relay, or wiring. Any break in the electrical signal means no fuel delivery, no start. Sometimes it's just a blown fuel relay, other times, the pump failure is total. Want a quick diagnostic trick? Just listen, the 2-second hum tells you everything you need to know about whether the engine is even getting fuel pressure. Still not starting? Time to try an old-school throttle trick that still works today. If any of these helped, or if your car fired up, drop a comment. It helps other drivers who are stuck just like you. And hit that like button if you've ever been saved by a simple trick like this. Step number 5. Press the gas pedal while starting. Had an old Civic come in last winter, guy cranked it 10 times, swore it was dead. Truth was, a flooded engine from all that pumping of the gas pedal. I told him to press it halfway, hold it steady, and crank for 5 seconds. Boom, fired right up. When there's too much fuel and not enough air, the mixture gets rich, soaking the spark and choking the combustion. That's where the throttle trick helps. Opening the throttle body lets the excess fuel clear. And with today's fuel injection systems, your ECU reads that pedal position and adjusts the air-fuel ratio on the fly. Ever smelled gas from the engine bay after a no start? That's your clue, it's not broken, it's just drowning. Nothing yet? Then listen carefully. What your engine does or doesn't do next matters. Step number 6. Listen for the click or crank. If you hear a single click noise, it's usually a weak battery or bad starter solenoid. Rapid clicks? That's likely a relay or low power issue. A strong crank but no start points to fuel or spark problems, possibly a misfire. Dead silence means your ignition switch, circuit, or a completely dead battery isn't sending power to the starter motor. The sounds your engine makes, whether it's a slow crank, clean turnover, or nothing at all, are your first diagnostic tools before grabbing a scanner. Hearing clicks or silence? Could be the battery, let's rule that out next. Step number 7. Jump start the car if battery is suspect. Couple weeks ago, a guy pulled up with his hood up and a totally dead battery, even the dome light was out. I grabbed my jump pack, clamped the red cable to the positive post, black cable to a clean ground, and within seconds we had crank. Whether you're using jumper cables or a donor car, the trick is solid connection and enough amps to give that starter a fighting chance. Make sure the battery terminals are clean, then let the working car run a minute to give some charge before trying your engine start. If your alternator is weak, don't be surprised if the voltage dies again. Ever seen a tiny spark at the clamp and panicked? That's just normal current flow, but yeah, double check your power source. Jump didn't work? Pop the hood. A loose clamp or corroded post might be killing power. Step number 8. Check for a loose or dirty battery terminal. Last month, a guy brought in a no-start Altima. Everything looked fine until I popped the hood and spotted that green corrosion mountain on the battery terminal. That nasty buildup kills conductivity, and even if the clamp looks tight, it might not have solid contact. I grabbed a wire brush, gave the battery post a quick clean, retightened the cable with a wrench, and it fired right up. Loose or oxidized terminals cause voltage drop, resistance, and all kinds of weird electrical issues. You ever have a car die just from a poor connection? It happens. A dirty surface at the clamp is all it takes to cut power and leave you stranded. Still dead? I've seen cars come back from a single blown fuse. Let's check those next. Step number 9. Pop the hood and check fuses. I had a guy with a no-start charger. We popped the hood, opened the fuse box, and sure enough, the fuel fuse was blown clean. A simple swap with a backup from the fuse panel brought the car back to life. Those tiny fuses protect critical circuits like ECM, ignition, and fuel, and if one pops from a short or power surge, your electrical system goes silent. Always check labeled spots in the underhood box, use a fuse puller, and match amperage before testing. Lost count of how many dead cars I've fixed with a 30-cent component. Ever done a quick diagnostic and found a crispy fuse saving you hundreds? And if all else failed? Don't panic, this last step resets your car's brain. Step number 10, reset the computer, soft ECU reboot. A guy came in with a Jeep that wouldn't start after a battery swap, no codes, no fuel, nothing. I told him to disconnect the negative cable, wait 5 minutes, and boom, fired up after the reconnect. That's a classic ECU reboot sequence, flushing out stored errors and giving the electronic control unit a clean slate. Sometimes your engine control module just needs a soft reset, especially after voltage drain or sensor glitch. This kind of power cycle clears weird faults, kicks off an idle relearn, and restores proper calibration. You ever fix a dead car just by pulling the battery disconnect? I have, more than I can count. Final thought. So there you go, 10 real steps that can bring a dead car back to life without calling a mechanic. Sometimes it's not a big repair, it's a dirty battery terminal, a lazy fuel pump, or just a gear shifter slightly out of place. These little things leave thousands of drivers stranded every day, and most shops won't tell you this stuff because it doesn't make them money. If even one of these tricks helped, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to other drivers who are stuck right now. And if your car fired up? Drop a comment and let us know what fixed it, it helps others more than you think. If nothing worked and you're still stuck, don't give up, I've got more videos coming that'll walk you through next level diagnostics without spending a dime. Until then, keep those hands clean and that engine running.